Good morning, India, and welcome to Breakfast Show. I'm Shreya Upadhyay. Well, in the next 1 hour, we'll be getting you updates from India and across the world. Remember, yesterday, the winter session of the Parliament began and Rajya Sabha marked its 250th session. There was a special discussion where members from all political parties contributed to how, Rajya Sabha has contributed to the Indian polity and decision making. Apart from that, what all business is lined up today, we'll be talking about that from the Parliament. And of course, about the Maharashtra government formation, where the uncertainty over the government formation still continues, despite the fact that yesterday Sharad Pawar and Sonia Gandhi met. All of this and much more in the next 1 hour. Let's take a look at our top stories right now. Lok Sabha likely to discuss air pollution and chit fund amendment bill on the second day of the winter session. PM Modi says government is ready to discuss every issue in the Parliament. Rajya Sabha debates its journey so far and way forward on the occasion of the commencement of the 250th session of Rajya Sabha. Chairman Venkaiah Naidu gives 10 suggestions on improving Rajya Sabha's role. Suspense continues on the government formation in Maharashtra. NCP Chief Sharad Pawar meets Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Pawar says the two parties will hold talks with their allies in Maharashtra before taking decision on the government formation. Four soldiers and 2 persons killed in an avalanche at Siachen Glacier. 2 persons saved by the rescue team. In international news, in Sri Lanka, after Gotabaya Rajapaksa sworn in as the new president, leader of the opposition and Gotabaya's elder brother, Mahinda Rajapaksa, demands for early parliamentary election. As per the constitution, the parliament cannot be dissolved till February next year until House passes a resolution with 2/3 majority. And in sports, India eyes its first win in the World Cup 2022 qualifying campaign when it locks horns with host Oman today. Let's begin with our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has emphasized that the government is willing to take up discussion on any issue in the House. He has expressed hope that this session will prove to be crucial for the development of the nation. The Prime Minister has appealed to all members to play a positive and active role in ensuring that the House functions smoothly without disruptions. Now today, the Lok Sabha will take up the discussion on the issue of air pollution. The discussion will be taken up under Rule 193 of the House, which means that the discussion will not involve a formal motion before the House. The bill for consideration and passing also includes Chit Funds Amendment Bill 2019.
At the very onset of winter session of Parliament on Monday, Prime Minister Modi appealed to all members to play a positive and active role in ensuring that the House functions smoothly without disruptions. Interacting with media ahead of Parliament proceedings, Prime Minister emphasized that the government is willing to take up discussion on any issue in the House. He expressed hope that, like the monsoon session, this session will prove to be crucial for development of the nation.
हम सभी मुद्दों पर खुलकर के चर्चा चाहते हैं। उत्तम से उत्तम बहस हो यह आवश्यक है। वाद हो, विवाद हो, संवाद हो, हर एक कोई अपनी बुद्धि शक्ति का प्रचुर मात्रा में उपयोग करें और सदन की चर्चा को समृद्ध बनाने में योगदान दें और उससे जो अमृत निकलता है वो देश के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए काम आता है।
During this winter session, 70th Constitution Day will also be celebrated. The Constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949 and this year marks its 70th anniversary. Prime Minister Modi urged the parliamentarians on this momentous occasion to make the nation aware about the journey of our Constitution.
ये संविधान देश की एकता, अखंडता, भारत की विविधता, भारत के सौंदर्य को अपने में समेटे हुए है और देश के लिए वो एक चालक ऊर्जा शक्ति है। तो संविधान के 70 साल अपने आप में इस सदन के माध्यम से देशवासियों के लिए भी एक जागृति का अवसर बन सकता है।
The opposition created ruckus on a number of issues in Lok Sabha on the very first day of functioning. Compensation to farmers and situation in Jammu and Kashmir were the prominent issues taken up by opposition. Even as the question hour took place in the midst of commotion in the Lok Sabha, members took up issues during the zero hour. In the afternoon, the Chit Fund Amendment Bill to regulate chit funds was also taken up for consideration and discussion.
कुल मिलाकर उन गरीबों के लिए है जिनके पास सेविंग का भी या पैसा उठाने का भी और जरिए नहीं थे, ये जरिया उनके पास था। बहुत सारे लोग इसको इलीगल तरीके से देखते हैं, लेकिन मैं कहना चाहता हूं ये लीगल है। राज्यों में इनके हमने अधिकार दिए हैं कि जो 100 रुपए कैप थी चिट की, उसको भी हमने दूर किया है कि राज्य निर्धारित करें कि कितनी उसकी कैप होनी चाहिए। तो इससे लाभ मिलेगा उसके सब्सक्राइबर को भी, रेगुलेटर को भी, सबको।
The Chit Fund Amendment Bill will not only increase transparency in chit fund schemes, but will also increase security of deposits. The bill has increased the maximum limit of the deposits in chit fund schemes to 3 lakh rupees from 1 lakh rupees for individuals, and for firms, it has been proposed to raise it to 18 lakh rupees from 6 lakh rupees earlier. 4 new members took oath on Monday. Tributes were also paid to former MPs, including the recently departed Arun Jaitley and Sushma Swaraj.
हम अपने पूर्व साथियों के निधन पर गहरा शोक प्रकट करते हैं। मुझे विश्वास है कि ये सभा शोक संतप्त परिवार के प्रति संवेदना प्रकट करने में मेरे साथ है।
With legislative business being transacted on the first day, hopes are being pinned for smooth conduct of the House in the days to come. The government has put 47 subjects in its legislative agenda, along with 27 new bills in the session. With Parliament team, DD India.
Now, on day one of its 250th session, the Rajya Sabha looked back at its journey so far. The chairman of the House, Venkaiah Naidu, lauded the House's rich contribution but cautioned about flaws creeping in. He made suggestions for its better functioning. The Prime Minister took part in the special discussion, highlighting the continuous nature of the House and the representation of India's diversity. Today, there are a number of bills for consideration and passage, including the Jallianwala Bagh National Memorial Amendment Bill 2019, the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2019. The bills to be considered for withdrawal include the Indian Medical Council Amendment Bill 1987 and the National Commission for Human Resources for Health Bill 2011.
The landmark 250th session of Rajya Sabha began on Monday with a special discussion on the role of Rajya Sabha in Indian polity and the way forward. Chairman of the Upper House, M. Venkaiah Naidu, initiated the discussion. Setting a cautionary tone, he said that Upper House has played a significant role in the socio-economic transformation of the country during its journey of last 67 years, but all is not well.
This momentous occasion is an opportune time for collective reflection on the journey so far and sincere introspection over the missed opportunities. This is warranted so that we don't repeat the mistakes, if any, of the past. We need to learn from the experience of the last 67 years, and if we don't, there is an inherent risk of making ourselves irrelevant.
The chairman put forward 10 points that need deliberation, including adequacy of the number of sittings, norms to ensure wider and equitable participation of members in the debates, ensuring that members with right background and abilities to enrich debates are sent to the House, ensuring self-discipline for orderly functioning of the House, and technology adoption to improve efficiency and ensure more lively conduct of the proceedings of the House. Next, the Prime Minister spoke in the House. He began by congratulating everyone present and lauding everyone who contributed to this journey of the August House. Prime Minister said that while the lower house is rooted in ground realities and reflects them, the upper house is far-sighted and visionary. He said, the Rajya Sabha is eternal and diverse, unlike the Lok Sabha. Looking back at the legislative journey of the House, Prime Minister Modi lauded it for its maturity in passing the Triple Talaq Bill. He said it was this brave House that passed the reservation for economically weaker sections in India as well. Even GST became a reality after it was passed in the Rajya Sabha. Prime Minister highlighted that the role of Rajya Sabha in furthering unity of the nation when bills pertaining to Article 370 and 35A were passed. He said that Rajya Sabha is about checks and balance, which is essential for any democracy.
राज्य सभा एक प्रकार से चेक एंड बैलेंस का विचार उसके मूल सिद्धांतों के लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है, लेकिन चेकिंग और क्लॉगिंग इसके बीच अंतर बनाए रखना बहुत आवश्यक होता है। बैलेंस एंड ब्लॉकिंग, इसके बीच भी हमें बैलेंस बनाए रखना बहुत आवश्यक होता है।
Prime Minister said that Upper House, as the Council of States, enables the Parliament to further the spirit of cooperative federalism.
देश का विकास और राज्यों का विकास, ये दो अलग चीजें नहीं हैं। राज्य के विकास के बिना देश का विकास संभव नहीं है, और देश के विकास का नक्शा राज्यों के विकास के विपरीत होगा तो भी राज्य विकास नहीं कर पाएंगे। और इस बातों को ये सदन सबसे ज्यादा प्रतिबिंबित करता है, जीवंतता के साथ प्रतिबिंबित करता है।
Prime Minister appreciated the BJD and NCP for respecting dignity of the House even while registering their protest.
दो दलों का आज मैं उल्लेख करना चाहूंगा, एक एनसीपी और दूसरा बीजेडी। और किसी का नाम छूट जाए तो मुझे क्षमा करना, लेकिन मैं दो का उल्लेख कर रहा हूं। इन दोनों दलों की विशेषता देखिए, उन्होंने खुद ने डिसिप्लिन तय किया है कि हम वेल में नहीं जाएंगे, और मैं देख रहा हूं एक बार भी उन्होंने एक भी सदस्य ने नियम को तोड़ा नहीं है। हम सभी राजनीतिक दलों को सीखना होगा, इंक्लूडिंग माय पार्टी।
Former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh also stressed on the role of Rajya Sabha in maintaining checks and balances.
The Rajya Sabha represents a crucial component of the constitutional system of checks and balances. We normally think of checks and balances as operating the different branches of government. However, the Rajya Sabha has a central role to provide checks and balances to a majority government in the Lok Sabha.
Several other leaders also made significant points during the discussion.
This House, sir, is a very good sample or representation of the federal setup. Because as every other member has spoken, the states, it is called as Council of States. And those people who can contribute to the society or to the nation at large and who are not in the thickest political fray, or who cannot or doesn't want to enter into the electoral fray, this House gives a space for them.
The Rajya Sabha is unique because I don't think any other country in the world would have a council of states. There could be another house, a senior house, an elders house, but a council of states is specially, uniquely designed to keep the federal structure of our country intact.
The first day of the winter session in Rajya Sabha began with several obituary references to leaders like Arun Jaitley, Dr. Jagannath Mishra and Gurudas Dasgupta. The House was adjourned till lunch as mark of respect. With Parliament team, DD India.
And for more on updates from the Parliament, my colleague Amritpal Singh joins us this morning. Good morning, Amrit. Now, you know, yesterday we saw a very special opening of the Parliament with the Rajya Sabha marking its 250th session. But today, if we look at the business lined up, in Lok Sabha, you know, if I can say literally, there are two discussions which are meant for cleaning. One is, of course, for cleaning the air, and the other one is about cleaning the chit fund scheme across the states. What all is, you know, lined up today? What all is expected in the houses?
You're right, Shreya. In the Lok Sabha, that's the lower house. These are the two important discussions that are lined up. One, the chit fund bill on how to regulate chit funds. As the Minister of State for Finance, Anurag Thakur, spoke in the House yesterday, and he said that a lot of liberties have been given to the state government to regulate them. Now the Parliament will discuss, especially the lower house today, will discuss how chit fund, which is essentially a legalized way of conducting savings for people and financial transactions, can be made more secure, and that's what and how they can be made more transparent, and how to avoid the sort of scams that we've seen in the past. So that's a very important discussion lined up. The other is the pollution, the issue that is going to be discussed threadbare in the lower house. We saw yesterday the Minister of Environment, who's also the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Prakash Javadekar, Javadekar arrive in an electric car to the parliament. Many parliamentarians, both from the ruling party and the opposition benches, come on bicycles trying to create the awareness. Congress MPs wearing masks, getting into the inside the house to say that Delhi has become a furnace. It's become a sort of a choke point for the residents of the national capital, and this is something which is very, very important. So that is another issue that is going to be discussed in the lower house. If we talk about the Rajya Sabha, there are 4 important bills that they are lined up today, which the government could bring in for discussion and passing, which includes the Jallianwala National Memorial, the Jallianwala Bagh National Memorial Bill, the Surrogacy Regulation Bill, the Indian Medical Council 1987 Amendment Bill. So there are 4 important bills lined up in the Rajya Sabha that are listed for discussion. Let's see what transpires after the question hour and the 0 hour, how much business is actually transacted in both the houses.
Absolutely, Amrit. Despite this being a winter session, things are going to heat up with the opposition, trying to cause commotion in the 2 houses on various issues. Yesterday also we saw, when Anurag Thakur was replying to questions in the question hour, there was a lot of commotion in the lower house. But the Prime Minister reaching out to the opposition parties as always and saying that, we're ready to discuss all issues in the 2 houses, but just let there be smooth functioning. Can we expect that in the next few days?
Well, the Prime Minister has made a very impassioned appeal to the opposition benches that this is a house, this is the place where you discuss issues threadbare, and he says that the government is ready to discuss everything. This is an appeal all ruling benches make, but we'll have to see, because real politics by the end of the day takes over and the opposition has its own ways. He in fact pointed out, give the example of the NCP and the BJD, 2 parties in particular, saying that they have been playing constructive politics, though they do not fall in line with the ruling party and they are essentially opposition parties. But these 2 parties decided for themselves a self-imposed moratorium not to get into the well of the house. He said, my own party, that's the BJP, needs to learn discipline from them. So the Prime Minister did make an impassioned appeal, but we'll have to see how political parties, because it's by the end of it politics that plays out. Right. But we could expect some ruckus and commotion. So let's see how the day progresses.
Absolutely. Let's see how the day progresses. You keep an eye on that, Amrit, and thanks very much for joining us with those updates. We'll keep coming back to you for the latest from the Parliament. Moving on, Environment Secretary C.K. Mishra chaired a high-level meeting on Monday to discuss the air pollution situation in the National Capital Region. The government will now intensify its crackdown on those violating anti-pollution norms. The air pollution was one of the key issues raised on the first day of the winter session. In an important gesture, Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar used an electric car to reach the House for the session.
Given the situation of severe air pollution in Delhi NCR and its adjoining areas, a high-level meeting was held on Monday. Environment Secretary C.K. Mishra chaired the meeting. Chief Secretaries of Delhi, Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh attended the meeting. Apart from steps to curb air pollution, monitoring measures were also discussed in the meeting. The government will intensify its crackdown on those violating anti-pollution norms.
We will, over the next 15 days, try and completely take over the watering situation so that we are able to really keep the dust down. There is going to be a huge crackdown on any illegal construction. I mean, construction right now is banned. But whenever it opens, construction activities and also on industries.
Amid all these developments, improvement in air quality brought relief in Delhi NCR on Monday, even though it remained in the poor category for the 2nd consecutive day. Sending a green message, Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar reached Parliament House using an electric car to attend the first day of the winter session. Several MPs and ministers chose to cycle down to work on a bright and sunny day.
पर्यावरण का संकट सबके लिए है और सबको मिलकर काम करना है और इसलिए ये इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल की मोदी सरकार की पहल बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। उसमें सरकार सब्सिडी देती है, लोगों को थोड़ी जो कीमत ज़्यादा होती है वो कम होगी, बाकी भी जैसे इसका प्रचलन बढ़ेगा कीमतें और कम होगी। अप्रैल से BS6 compliant vehicles आएंगे।
Along with air pollution, Delhi is also facing the brunt of water pollution. After the release of a report on the purity of water by Bureau of Indian Standards, politics has also started over it. The issue was also raised in the Lok Sabha after the government said that the centre is ready to form a joint team of officials of Delhi and Bureau of Indian Standards to check the purity of water.
पोल्यूशन की तो बात हो रही है, लेकिन उससे बड़ी जो समस्या है जिसके लिए आज हमारी बहनों ने धरना भी किया है और प्रदर्शन भी किया है, वो है पानी की समस्या। खाली खर्चा पानी के जो व्यवस्था के ऊपर करना चाहिए था वो फ्री सब्सिडी में किया जा रहा है और व्यवस्था चरमरा रही है।
हमारा मेन मकसद है कि लोगों को सबसे ज्यादा पानी मिले, पीने का पानी मिले, और जो गरीब लोग हैं जो आरओ नहीं लगा सकते हैं, कुछ नहीं लगा सकते हैं, बेचारे गरम करके पानी पीते हैं, वो भी सही नहीं मिल पाता है। इससे ज्यादा चिंता का विषय क्या हो सकता है? और लोग इसमें राजनीति करते हैं। हम क्या कहते हैं कि आपके माध्यम से हम सदन को आश्वस्त करना चाहते हैं कि आप सब लोग हमारा साथ दीजिए, कोई इसमें पार्टी पॉलिटिक्स नहीं होना चाहिए।
While BJP workers in Delhi protested at various places in the national capital and demanded the state government provide clean water, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal turned the Bureau of Indian Standards report on the water as false and politically motivated. With inputs from Parliament team, Bureau Report, DD India.
Fell to the lowest level in a month today, with the city enjoying much cleaner air. However, weather scientists said that the situation is likely to deteriorate in the 2 days as the wind slows down. The air quality levels have improved. The level of PM10 particles in the city in the early hours today fell to 145, which is the lowest since October 18th, while the level of the finer PM2.5 particles fell to 135. And that's the AQI indices that you can see on your screens. Delhi has in fact risen to a moderate level. Gurugram, Bhiwani, Chandigarh, they're all moderate levels. So better days, but of course we have to be very careful, in terms of the kind of contributions we do in our daily lives to the air pollution of Delhi. There you can see Ghaziabad, Muradabad, Kanpur and Lucknow in poor and very poor categories. Muzaffarabad, Patna and Gaya also in poor and very poor categories, their air quality. Moving on to Maharashtra, where a political churning is on from Mumbai to Delhi over the government formation amidst the slew of meetings and behind-the-scenes moves. Monday saw National Congress Party President Sharad Pawar meet interim Congress President Sonia Gandhi in Delhi. Representatives of both the allies will meet in Mumbai today to talk about government formation in Maharashtra.
Churning is on from Mumbai to Delhi over Maharashtra government formation. Amidst the slew of meetings and behind-the-scenes moves, Monday saw Nationalist Congress Party President Sharad Pawar meet interim Congress President Sonia Gandhi in Delhi. All that the NCP chief disclosed after the meeting was that representatives of both the allies will meet again in 1 or 2 days to talk about government formation. He clearly said that tying up with the Shiv Sena is not being discussed. It's only the NCP and the Congress who are in talks.
We have not discussed with any other political party. We have discussed with Congress and NCP. आज इसमें थोड़ा सुधार इतना ही किया कि जो छोटे पक्ष है जो हमारे साथ थे उनके साथ भी एक बार बहस करेंगे।
सर, शिवसेना बार-बार कह रही है कि हमारे पास 170 विधायक हैं, कांग्रेस एनसीपी के साथ हम सरकार बनाएंगे।
मुझे मालूम है 170 की फिगर वगैरह क्या, आप वो बताते तो उनसे पूछना चाहिए।
The Shiv Sena and the BJP, meanwhile, are carrying on with their war of words, engaging in a blame game over people's mandate being belied in the state.
महाराष्ट्र में सरकार बनेगी, कोई नहीं रोकेगा। अभी सरकार बनेगी, शिवसेना का मुख्यमंत्री होगा और कॉमन मिनिमम प्रोग्राम जो उसके ऊपर सहमति हुई है 3 पार्टी में, उसके आधार पर राज्य चलेगा।
शिवसेना और हम तो कई सालों से में थे, लेकिन अब थोड़ा कुछ गलतफहमी हो गई और उन्होंने जो अलग भूमिका दी तो हमें तो बड़ा दुख होता, लेकिन अब क्या करें, उनकी पार्टी है, उनके विचार है।
Monday also saw Shiv Sena MPs sitting on the opposition's benches for the first time after the breakup on the first day of the winter session of Parliament. Despite all the meetings and confabulations, government formation in Maharashtra remains in limbo. DD India.
And for more updates, my colleague Shama Mishra is joining us right now from Mumbai. Shama, good morning. The political uncertainty is still continuing over the government formation in Maharashtra. Yesterday, we know that Sharad Pawar and Sonia Gandhi met, but there was no formal announcement on the government formation. Now, today, the representatives of both these parties are expected to meet in Mumbai. Any leads on, what all permutation combinations can happen in this meeting today?
We heard that the leaders of the NCP and Congress, some of the leaders had already reached Delhi yesterday night, and today we would see the meeting happening between these two parties. What we are getting to know is that till now, no formal talks on Shiv Sena has started there yet, and the two parties, Sena and the NCP and Congress, they are amongst themselves deciding on what has to be done between themselves. So till the time they are clear about what stand they would be taking, they would not be thinking about or talking about Shiv Sena. Well, Shiv Sena over here is really confident that the government would be formed, but how will it be formed, we are yet to know. Also, we are expecting the meeting that would be happening in Delhi. The most of the center point of the entire Maharashtra politics is now shifting. We are seeing the shifting of the discussion and meetings is happening towards Delhi, because we are seeing that most of the leaders are now over that side, and the political center is also in Delhi. Since the parliament is on, all the leaders, the MP, Shiv Sena MP, NCP MPs, they are all present over there. So it's a good decision to take meetings there. Over here, we also seeing, the RPI leader. He is trying to, Ramdas Athavale, he is trying to sort out things between Shiv Sena and BJP, and he came out with a formula that the Shiv Sena can have the CM chief ministership for 2 years, and BJP can have it for 3 years. Now the discussion between the two parties are yet to begin. But yes, if you are taking from Ramdas Athavale, he would act as a mediator and try solving things out, because Sarkar kab banegi, we are all waiting with bated breath, because it's almost now a week that we are seeing that the president's rule had been imposed in Maharashtra. So yes, how the discussions are panning out and how today's NCP and Congress meeting happens, we'll have to see there, because it's Sharad Pawar, the NCP chief. He didn't mention about Shiv Sena with Congress chief Sonia Gandhi. Then I don't think the party leaders would be discussing anything on Shiv Sena. So yes, we'll have to see what really goes into the meeting, what really chalks out. Shreya.
Right, Shama, so you are in fact clarifying some of the reports that were coming in that a deal might have been reached, and the chief ministerial position might go to Shiv Sena with deputy chief ministers coming from NCP and Congress. But that you're saying is, that doesn't hold any confirmation right now.
Well, these are the reports that are coming out, and these are all from sources. But like we heard it from the NCP's chief mouth, that no discussion on Shiv Sena has started yet. But these are all internal talks that they could be, distributing the chief minister's post for 2.5 years, and the deputy chief minister post could be given to Congress. And likewise, the plush portfolios could also be divided between the three parties. But here, yes, definitely the Shiv Sena would try to hold on things, because if they wanted 50-50 formula with the BJP, here they will have to give out more, because here there are three parties, and the Shiv Sena will have to be in a compromising position if Shiv Sena is going with more two parties. Shreya.
Right, Shama, in fact, these are all just speculations, and we'll have to wait and watch how the situation in Maharashtra pans out. Thanks very much for joining us with those updates. Moving on, an unfortunate news coming in yesterday. 8 personnel operating in the northern sector of Siachen Glacier at an altitude of 19,000 feet were hit by an avalanche on 18th of November, which is yesterday. Avalanche rescue teams from the nearby posts were rushed to the location for rescue work. All 8 personnel were pulled out of the avalanche debris. 7 individuals who were critically injured, accompanied by medical teams providing critical care, were evacuated by helicopters to the nearest military hospital, where all life-saving resuscitative measures were instituted. Now, despite best efforts, 6 casualties, which include 4 soldiers and 2 civilian porters, succumbed to extreme hypothermia. Co-chairman of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi on Monday. Gates is on a 3-day visit to India. He is reviewing the work of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Later, the Prime Minister tweeted about the meeting, and I quote, "Wonderful meeting with Mr. Bill Gates. Always a delight to interact with him on various subjects. Through his innovative zeal and grassroots level work, he is passionately contributing towards making our planet a better place." Unquote. And the Niti Aayog on Monday released the report Health System for a New India, Building Blocks, Potential Pathways to Reform. The co-chairman of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, was also present on the occasion. Releasing the report, Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant said that in recent years, India has made significant improvement in the health sector. However, even today, the country's health system is confronted with multiple challenges. He said India has a unique opportunity to transform its health sector, which lags behind other comparable economies.
There are significant inter- and intra-state differentials, the rising burden of non-communicable diseases. A careful analysis of the state of the health system reveals a story of multiple fragmentism. And we need a consequence of this fragmented provider space is that health records of patients lie buried in manual systems or in some cases disparate IT systems with little standardization, with almost no possibility of interoperability or cross-sharing. Therefore, in the context of India, we have a unique opportunity to transform our health sector, which currently lags behind the performance of other comparable economies. We will be able to save millions of lives.
Meanwhile, Bill Gates said that improvement in India's health system in the last decade is very significant. The government has taken a number of steps to successfully cope with the challenges faced by the health sector in the country.
The health system over the last decade have been very, very significant. It was referred to that new vaccines have been introduced for diarrhea and pneumonia. The vaccine coverage, even in some of the states where the coverage level was quite low, has been improved quite substantially. Now, almost 90% coverage. TB program is also very ambitious, doing some things here in India that haven't been done anywhere in the world with polio, and hopefully in the next few years we'll be down to zero.
Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, in an address at the 6th ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus in Bangkok, said that state-sponsored terrorism is not just a painful cancer, but is also the leading reason for unsustainable security. He said that terrorist safe havens will have to be eliminated and their financing channels choked to thwart their cross-border movement to ensure sustainable regional security. The Raksha Mantri also said that some states were using terrorism to pursue political goals, making regional security vulnerable. Now, on the negotiations for a code of conduct in the South China Sea, Singh hoped that the outcome of these talks will be in sync with all relevant international laws. On the Indo-Pacific region, he said that India's vision for it was based on the idea of sustainable security as it focuses on a free, open, inclusive and rules-based Indo-Pacific. The ADMM Plus, remember, is a platform comprising ASEAN and its 8 dialogue partners, including India. The grouping focuses its work on maritime security, counter-terrorism and humanitarian assistance. Moving on, the impact of Pradhanmantri Ujjwala Yojana can be widely seen across the country. Under this scheme, an adult woman belonging to a poor family not having LPG connection in her household is an eligible beneficiary. It has changed the lives of women who were earlier suffering due to smoke from the chulhas. Women of Goa's Panji district were also benefited by this program. Let's have a look at this ground report from the Panji district.
Meet Radha Gaonkar, a resident of Panji and an Ujjwala Yojana beneficiary. There was a time when she used to spend more than half a day collecting firewood in the jungle for cooking. But this scheme of the Modi government has brought happiness to her life. The Ujjwala Yojana has not only provided clean cooking fuel to Radha, but also reduced cooking time. And now, Radha is thankful to the Modi government.
We were using wood for cooking. We had to go and search for firewood every day. Now the distribution of LPG has saved our time. We thank Prime Minister Narendra Modi for this scheme.
Radha is not the only one. Like her, Panaji's Rukmini also used to face similar problems. Pradhanmantri Ujjwala Yojana has changed Rukmini's life as well.
Earlier, I used to go and collect firewoods for cooking. After getting LPG cylinder, we are free from all the trouble. There is no smoke as earlier. It is even good for health.
The Pradhanmantri Ujjwala Yojana is playing a crucial role in women's lives. It has ensured women empowerment by issuing connections in the name of women of households. Bureau Report, DD News.
And now let's get you international news. Sri Lanka's new president Gotabaya Rajapaksa has directed all state institutions to display the national emblem in place of the traditional portrait of the incumbent president. Among his first orders after being sworn in as the president yesterday, Rajapaksa stated that he instructed for the removal of politicians' photographs from name boards of roads as well. Accordingly, some state institutions have already replaced the president's photograph with the national emblem. Gotabaya will formally join his office at Presidential Secretariat in Colombo today morning. After swearing in at Anuradhapura yesterday, he assured a neutral foreign policy and refused to get involved in the battles between other countries. Gotabaya asked all nations to respect unitary status and sovereignty of Sri Lanka. Rajapaksa said that he will exercise his executive powers in the best interest of the nation. He also said that he will establish a new government to take his policies forward. The new president said that his government will not leave room for any corrupt practices to be committed. While not commenting on the reconciliation process of the former government, Rajapaksa sought the support of the minorities to rebuild the country. And leader of the opposition and Gotabaya's elder brother Mahinda Rajapaksa has said that with the victory at the presidential election, it is best to hold a parliamentary election. The former president said that work cannot be commenced as the president is from one party while the cabinet, including the Prime Minister, is from another. He said the mandate of the people should be respected. 3 people were killed in a shooting yesterday outside a popular supermarket store in Oklahoma, including the assailant. According to the police, the shooting, which was an apparent domestic dispute, took place in a parking lot in front of the store. The police also recovered a handgun from the scene. At the start of this month, a new permitless carry law came into effect in the central U.S. state, allowing anyone over 21 and without a felony conviction to carry a gun without a permit or a license. The supermarket store has said that in the wake of the 2 shootings inside its stores within a week of each other, that it would limit sales of guns and ammunition. UN's nuclear watchdog has said that Iran's stock of heavy water for reactors has surpassed the limit set under its agreement with world powers. IAEA said in a statement that Iran's heavy water production plant was in operation and that its stock of heavy water reserves was 131.5 tons above the 130-ton limit. Heavy water is not itself radioactive but is used in nuclear reactors to absorb neutrons from nuclear fission. Heavy water reactors can be used to produce plutonium for nuclear weapons as an alternative to enriched uranium. The Secretary of State Mike Pompeo from the US yesterday said the United States is terminating the sanctions waiver related to Iran's Fordo nuclear plant. Pompeo also said that US is closely monitoring ongoing protests in Iran and is deeply concerned by reports of several fatalities. He added that the right amount of uranium enrichment for the world's largest state sponsor of terror is 0. The waiver will end by the 15th of December. Now, according to Washington, there is no legitimate reason for Iran to resume enrichment at this previously clandestine site. Iran should reverse its activity there immediately. The development comes as Iran is rocked by violent protests sparked by the sudden decision to hike gas prices. The US has shifted its position on Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank by no longer viewing them as inconsistent with international law. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that the status of the West Bank was for Israelis and Palestinians to negotiate. Meanwhile, Israel has welcomed US's move. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the US decision rights a historical wrong and called on other countries to take a similar stance. However, Palestinian chief negotiator Saeb Erekat said that US decision was a risk to global stability, security and peace, and added that this will turn the international community from the rules of international law into the rules of the jungle. On the other hand, the EU on Monday condemned Israel's policy of building settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory. EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said that the Union's position on Israeli settlement policy in the occupied Palestinian territory is clear and remains unchanged. She also said that the Israeli settlement policy erodes the viability of the two-state solution and the prospects for a lasting peace. The issue of Jewish settlements, remember, is one of the most contentious between Israel and the Palestinians. Settlements are communities established by Israel on land occupied in the 1967 Middle East War, which has been a source of dispute between Israel and the international community and the Palestinians. About 6 lakh Jews lived in about 140 settlements built since Israel's occupation of West Bank and East Jerusalem. The settlements are widely considered illegal under international law, though Israel has always disputed this. And after that, my colleague Ajay Mishra joins us with everything that is making news in the world of finance.
Thanks, Shreya. Very much welcome all to Finance World. Let's start with our top story. The Vodafone India and Bharti Airtel on Monday said that both companies will increase tariff from December 1. This will be the first time since September 2016 when Reliance Jio launched its service that tariffs will be revised upward by the telecom companies. Currently, data rates for consumers for an average of 8 rupees per GB is the lowest in the world. The average revenue per user per month has declined from 174 rupees in FY15 to just 113 rupees in FY19. A subscriber on an average uses 10 GB of data and 700 minutes of mobile talk time per month. Indian markets edged lower yesterday with Sensex ending moderately lower. The index fell 72 points to settle at 40,284, while the broader Nifty settled at 11,894. Among the Sensex, Bharti Airtel was the top gainer, up 5%, adding to its Friday's 8% gain. Among others, Sensex stocks, Tata Steel rose 4.4%, Sun Pharma 2.4% and Power Grid 2%. The broader market, however, showed some traction. The BSE Mid Cap Index rose 0.5%, while Small Cap Index just 0.3%. Some profit taking was seen in select banking stocks. SDFC Bank fell 1%, while ICICI Bank declined 0.2%. Yes Bank was the top loser. Even the Sensex stocks falling most by almost 4%. The prices of oil fell more than 1% on Monday, erasing much of the last week gains and tumbling alongside US stocks on uncertainty over a trade deal between the United States and China. Brent crude futures settled at $62.44 a barrel, down 86 cents or 1.4%. West Texas Intermediate crude ended 67 cents or 1.2% lower at $57.05 a barrel. Both benchmark posted their second straight weekly gains last week, with the Brent rising 1.3% and WTI up 0.8%. With Brent crude oil rates on its highest in the last 2 months, the price of petrol shot up in India for the 5th consecutive day yesterday. In the last 8 days, the prices of petrol is up by 1 rupees per litre, while that of diesel has decreased by 12 paisa. That's all in the finance world. Thanks for watching.
Well, thanks Ajay for all those updates. And now let's get you sports news. Well, India will eye its first win in the World Cup 2022 qualifying campaign against host Oman today. Winless in 4 games so far in an increasingly disappointing campaign, the Indian football team faces higher-ranked Oman in a do-or-die World Cup qualifying round match. Now, Oman is coming into this match after an emphatic 4-1 win over Bangladesh. On the other hand, India is struggling after an impressive goalless draw against Asian champion Qatar, as it needed late equalizers in its identical 1-1 draws against lower-ranked Bangladesh and Afghanistan. After 3 draws and a defeat, India is 4th in the Group E table with 3 points, while Oman is 2nd with 9 points from 4 matches. If India loses, it will trail Oman by 9 points and has only 3 matches maximum 9 points left to play in this second round of the qualifiers. And Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju has expressed happiness that Hindi is now an official language of the Olympic channel. In a tweet, the minister said that through this medium, people can learn about India's Olympic journey and the favourite sportsmen in Hindi. He further added that this decision will benefit the Indian people. Moving on, senior player Rohan Bopanna pulled out of India's upcoming tie against Pakistan due to a shoulder injury, paving the way for Jeevan Nedunsukyan's inclusion in the playing squad. The 39-year-old was expected to be paired with veteran Leander Pace for the doubles rubber of the November 29 to 30th tie. Left-handed Jeevan was named as one of the 3 reserves in the 8-member squad announced by the AITA selection committee. Bopanna is, remember, the country's top doubles player. And after that, let's take a look at the newspapers that have been published from Delhi. We've been getting you the top stories, but what all other interesting news are the papers carrying? We start with the Times of India. It is getting us news from Jammu and Kashmir, where it says it's a first in 105 days that shops open all day in the valley for the first time after the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A. Complete normalcy was restored in the Kashmir Valley, and I beg your pardon, the shops remained open for the entire day, and J&K State Roadways Transport Corporation buses were plying across the districts. Remember, sources are also saying that broadband services may be restored by the end of this week, which means that communication link will be completely restored. Remember, train services are also being restored every day gradually. And till a day ago, traders, remember, were opening their shops from 7 to 11 in the morning and from 5 to 8 in the evening. But yesterday, it so happened that the shops remain open for consumers throughout the day. Well, moving on to Asian Age, it is something that all of us are concerned about, which is air pollution. And now the EPCA has said that there is a dip in air quality, which is likely. And those 2 photographs that you see on your screen are, of course, of BJP MPs Manoj Tiwari and Ravi Kishan, who reached the parliament yesterday, the first day of the winter session, in bicycles, of course, trying to create awareness and spread the message that we should take to eco-friendly ways to combat air pollution in the capital. Now, what has the Environment Pollution Prevention and Control Authority said? It said that there is a dip in air pollution, which is likely, air quality, I beg your pardon, which is likely in the capital. The Met Department has alerted that the next few days from Tuesday to Thursday will witness slow wind speed and very little ventilation. Now, under such circumstances, dispersion of pollutants will not happen, and there is a likelihood that the air quality will slip back into the very poor category and even into the severe category. So we have to take all precautions to combat that. Remember, yesterday Environment Secretary C.K. Mishra had also taken a high-level meeting to discuss how we can combat air pollution in Delhi. Moving on to the Hindu, it is getting us news from ISRO. ISRO is well ready with its next launch, which is going to be coming up next week, which is that of Cartosat 3. And it's operational satellites this month after a hiatus of 6 months. ISRO is returning. Cartosat 3, remember, is an advanced Earth imaging and mapping satellite. It will be flown on November 25th on the PSLV C-47 vehicle. Subject to weather conditions, it is a 1,560 kg satellite which will have 13 small US customer satellites riding as second passengers. They will be placed in a polar orbit. Now, all we can do is wish ISRO all the best for its next launch. Now, lastly, the Hindustan Times. Well, it is getting us an interesting news that the Indian Council of Medical Research has successfully completed the clinical trials of the world's first injectable male contraceptive, which has been sent to the Drug Controller General of India for approval. Remember, this is a pioneering work, and ICMR has successfully completed it. The contraceptive will be effective for 13 years, after which it loses its potency. It is designed as a replacement for surgical vasectomy, which is the only male sterilization method available. So great work being done there in the Indian medical field. We hope that India gets this approval and becomes the first country to actually come up with the world's first male contraceptive injection. Well, that's it in the newspapers today. It is the 19th of November today. Let's get back into the past and see what made news on this day.
On this day in 1828, Rani Lakshmibai was born in a Maharashtrian family in Varanasi. She became a supreme symbol of Indian nationalism and died fighting the British. In 1877, on this day, Jatindranath Banerjee was born in Budwan, West Bengal. He was a great Indian nationalist freedom fighter who was active during the late 19th and early 20th century. On this day in 1917, the first Indian woman Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, was born in Allahabad. She took active participation in freedom fighting. She led India in a successful war against Pakistan, which resulted in the creation of Bangladesh. On this day in 1994, Aishwarya Rai was crowned Miss World at the age of 21. The contest was held at the 44th Convention at Sun City in South Africa. And on this day in 1997, Kalpana Chawla's first mission to space began. A 6-astronaut crew flew the Space Shuttle Columbia flight STS-87. Chawla was the first Indian-born woman as well as the first Indian-American in space.
Well, the 50th edition of the International Film Festival of India, or IFFI, is set to begin tomorrow. From films that send chills down your spine to those that make you laugh your heart out, 200 plus films from 76 countries from various genres will be screened during the festival. In the event, 24 films are in the race for Oscar nominations. The festival will also showcase 50 films of 50 women directors. The world panorama of the festival curates an amalgamation of new, unconventional, brave and wild cinematic experience for the film enthusiasts, with 64 hand-picked films from around the world. Now, the festival will conclude on the 28th of November. Well, head to Goa if you are a film enthusiast. All preparations are being done. Tomorrow, the International Film Festival of India begins. Now, on to our health segment. Squint, remember, is a common condition in children. Squint is also known as strabismus, in which many children with squints have poor vision. Squint, if not treated, may cause lazy eye. An early detection of squint is a must. Here's more on it.
Squint is a common condition seen in children. A baby can be born with a squint or develop this soon after birth.
The misalignment of both the visual axes is known as squint. In this, the squinting eye has an indistinct image on the retina. So, patient has a confusion, or sometimes this is the vision of the one eye is becoming diminished. This is called a suppression, and later on it converted to the amblyopia or the lazy eye. These squints, if done between the sensitive period, which I am telling, the 6.5 months to maximum up to the 12 years, not only there is a cosmetic correction of the squints, but also there is a visual improvement, especially this binocular vision, which we can give to the patients, meaning thereby he can appreciate the 3D picture.
Around 5 to 8% of children are affected by a squint or a squint-related condition. If left untreated, it can lead to lazy eye, in which the brain starts ignoring inputs from one of the eyes.
My advice will be to the parents that they must get their children checked at the age of 3 or 4 years at the time of school entry, either nursery or the KG level, so that right at that time we can detect the refractive error and treat them accordingly by prescription of the glasses, which can improve the vision in both the eyes equally, or otherwise if there is a diminution of vision in the one eye or the both eyes, we can give the therapy for the lazy eye, and leading to which we can provide 100% vision in both eyes to the patients. And if there is a squint associated, we can cure them also.
Many children with squints have poor vision in the affected eye. The sooner the treatment is started, the better are the results. Kiren Bhardwaj, DD News.
And after that, it's now time for good news. Well, today we are having you meet someone who is a shining example of self-empowerment among women. Aligarh's Dipti Singh has not only shown that she can take care of more than herself when confronted with street louts. She's also helping others of her gender become capable of defending themselves and take on unforeseen challenges.
We speak of teaching our boys and men to respect the other sex. But the reality is that incidents of misbehavior with girls and women is commonplace. Laws have been made tougher to deal with sexual offenders, but it always helps if girls empower themselves. Meet Aligarh's Dipti Singh, who's not only become a source of inspiration where bravery is concerned, but she's also helping other girls become self-reliant when it comes to their safety.
महिलाओं की सुरक्षा और समृद्धि के लिए जब सरकार इतनी सारे प्रयास कर रही है, इतनी योजनाएं ला रही है, तो आपको भी थोड़ा सा सरकार का साथ देते हुए आपके जो मूल कर्तव्य हैं उनका पालन कीजिए। उठिए, अपनी शक्ति को पहचानिए, लड़िए, आत्मनिर्भर बनिए और हमारे देश को आप पर गर्व करने का एक अवसर दीजिए।
It was on the 6th of July 2015 when Dipti used her taekwondo training to good effect against 5 street louts. Her attackers had surrounded her, but Dipti taught them a lifelong lesson. What happened made Dipti think that it's possible for any girl to find herself in a similar situation, and why not give taekwondo training to other girls for self-defense. Dipti got down to work, and apart from enrolling students at a local girls' college, she started training hundreds of other girls. To further promote her quest, Dipti formed the Aligarh Youth Taekwondo Association in April 2017. She's trained some girls so well that under her tutelage, 10 of her students have even been given the coveted black belt. It all started in 2007 when in class 9, Dipti was inspired by seeing some stunts in a Hollywood film. She started getting martial arts training from a neighbor. In 2013, she was awarded the black belt. Dipti won a silver medal at the state level competition in Kanpur in 2014. She took part in the national level competition in Jaipur in 2015. She also won the second Dan belt in 2015 itself. This year, Dipti won a silver medal at an international taekwondo competition in Bhopal. It's a direct consequence of her training that now girls are not afraid to go to college and come back home.
यहाँ केवल हमें ताइक्वांडो की कला ही नहीं, हमें एक अच्छे मानवता की, अच्छे इंसान के जो गुण होते हैं वो भी सिखाए जाते हैं।
और हमारी बेटी तो घर से निकलने में भी डरती थी, अब जब से दीप्ति सिंह मैडम से ताइक्वांडो सीख रही, जब से बेझिझक घूमती है, मतलब आती जाती है।
Women are the foundation of society, and when women recognize their own strength, they are no longer weak and helpless. Women can triumph against all odds, and Aligarh's Dipti Singh is the exact embodiment of that notion. With Neeraj Sharma's report from Aligarh, Bureau Report, DD News.
And on that inspiring note, it's a wrap in Breakfast Show today, but we will leave you with the glimpses of a live entertainment event, which is Taste of Vadodara. Remember, the 31-day-long event was all about food, music and dance. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. Hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Namaskar.